Shutter Sound Music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Black College Experience. I am one half of a Black College Experience team, Derek Thomas, down here in Baton Rouge, and we have the founder of Black College Experience, Keisha Kelly, in Atlanta. What's going on, Kels?
It has been a great weekend. Oh my God, it's almost Monday again. It seems like the weekend goes so fast. But we are here to wrap up all the exciting and wonderful things that happened in the week of sports. Just from last week, so from week to week, so many different things happened. So many coaching changes, inductions into Hall of Fame, people getting their shots in the NFL, track, and so much that has happened. So we'll just, hop right into that. But I want to do this kind of differently because we always tend to start with the SWAC, MEAC, CIAA, SIAC. I want to start over in the GCAC today because we rarely get to their accolades, and they have a lot that they do as well over on their side. So I want to start there in the GCAC today.
All right. Well, lead it off.
Oh, okay. Okay, so with the GCAC, the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Association, looks like Sade Hilton, a senior, is ranked first nationally in the 400 with a time of 53.20. She's also a member of the Knights 4x100 relay team that clocked a time of 45.93.
Yes, indeed.
So,
and they are also the national champs, too.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're also the national champs, too.
Absolutely. So for people that don't know, and I do, because once again, it's a lot that goes on in that conference that we don't talk about. Derek just hit it. They are the national champions, the NAIA champions. They just won this on last week. So once again, congratulations to them. Again, it's just a lot that goes on in that conference as well. And I guess it would be like more so, they're big on track and field in that area. The St. Augustine, now, for anybody that doesn't,
volleyball as well.
Yeah, for people that don't follow this Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, it is. Derek said volleyball. I'm going to really have to tune into volleyball. I did follow track. I do know Xavier won the 2018 Howell Cup that proves that they're the gold standard. And then, of course, you had Suno doing some stuff. You had Talladega that won the baseball championship this year. So it is. Once again, it's a lot that goes on in the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference as well, even though, we don't always hit it. But, yeah, it's a lot that goes on in their conference as well.
Exactly. And, we want to make sure that we let the Knights, and that's also your sister school for your Jaguars,
right.
University of New Orleans.
Correct.
I have people, family, good friends that went to the school. That was my first home when I moved down here. I lived on the campus of Suno. Yeah, so that is a home for me. Yeah, I lived on the campus before I lived officially in Baton Rouge. I lived in New Orleans on the campus of Southern University of New Orleans. So, it's good to see the Lady Knights doing well. It's good to see Suno bouncing back because Suno was affected greatly by Hurricane Katrina. And it's good to see that the Knights are back winning championships, and just doing their thing, you know what I mean? And they also had the coach of the year in Yoon Reed. What's that?
What was that like living on campus? Were you there like a year, a couple of months?
I lived on Suno's campus for about 6 months. It was an experience. It was an experience, but it was a transition of me moving down here to Baton Rouge, getting myself situated. I got a chance to meet some lifelong friends, and they became family. So I do root for Suno when they do compete because that school has a special place in my heart. So I'm glad to see that the Knights are back. And they have built themselves back up after being devastated by Hurricane Katrina. And just back to being where they need to be, winning championships, graduating student athletes, graduating students as a whole. So just overall proud of Suno.
Yeah, I can only imagine, being back on campus. It's kind of like you're in undergrad all over again. So that's the feeling that I got, like, okay, what is that like? And even now at 37 years old, my mentee went back to school today, and I was having a conversation with her, and she's going to summer school, and she's in the band. You still have these conversations with children, because I do have an 18-year-old, soon to be 19 in September, year-old nephew that's in Tennessee State. But you still have these conversations, and as we talk to children that are getting ready to go to college, they're transitioning from high school, it takes you back to those years when you were in undergrad, and you start to think, like, what is it really like? And no matter how old you become, you still travel back to that same place that you were when you were in undergrad.
Right. I mean, I tried to find a job on Suno's campus. I almost became a student at Suno at one point in grad school, but hey, I would have been a double HBCU student at that time. But just good to see the Knights just doing well in the GCAC. It's just good to because a lot of people don't know the schools in that conference. A lot of schools in New Orleans, Dillard, Xavier. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these schools have some high caliber athletes. They're NAIA, but they compete to the best of their abilities, and some of them come back. They end up coaching at the higher level. So it's just good to have another HBCU outlet for athletes, and to obtain degrees from HBCUs. Okay. Up next. I want to state that this is not of the big conference. It's Tennessee State out of the OVC. They won the Ohio Valley Conference Sportsmanship Award. The men's track and field team earned that award because we talked about the Citizenship Award and the SEAC last week. It's good to see these student athletes getting out in the community again in another conference, HBCU students, showing their mettle and showing their worth as far as what they're doing in the community and sportsmanship. So they won the Sportsmanship Award. It was announced by the OVC office. It's the third time that they won this award, 3 times for indoor and 3 times for outdoor campaigns. So it's just good to see these HBCU student athletes doing well. Also, since we're on Tennessee State, since we did mention volleyball, Haley Hampton is in her second professional season, just completed her second professional season playing volleyball in Iceland. She gave an interview at our alma mater and just talked about what it was like to be in Iceland and how her career has, grew as a professional volleyball player, because at one point she thought she wasn't going to be able to play anymore, but she got a chance to go over to Iceland. And she's been over there 2 years. A funny thing she said, they drive on the same side of the road that we drive on, Kels. The gas is very expensive. It sounds like she's at home because the gas is expensive here too. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we got cheaper gas in Iceland, but compared to what I like the gas prices to be, gas prices is high. So,
they are steady climbing, and if you even at the cheapest that I look at, like almost $3, it's just ridiculous because it's like gas can be $2.85 or $2.89, and they literally will change the price. I've been in a situation where, and you know how you pull up to the gas tank, you start looking at other stuff, you think at your phone and everything else. I've been in a situation where I pulled up to the gas tank and the gas literally went up 10 cents while I was sitting there. Before I got out the car, I saw one thing, and when I got out the car, they had literally changed the price within a 10-minute or within a 5-minute time frame. And it's just it's upsetting because the prices are steady climbing.
Exactly. I mean, hopefully we can get those gas prices to go down, because I know I need them to go down, taking all my money.
Right.
But moving right along, in the SEAC, we have some track and field news that we didn't get a chance to report last week. Daniels finishes 14th in the NCAA championships for Benedict I think he competes in the triple jump. He finished 14th in the National Division II Track and Field Championship. He fouled on his first attempt, then recorded a mark of 15.06 meters on the second jump. He didn't improve on the mark on the 30% mark in addition of 14.54 minutes. He did improve. So didn't improve. I'm sorry. So he finished 14th. Also, Warren Scott earned All-American honors at the championships. Warren Scott is out of Central State with a 6th place finish at the championships. He finished 6th in the 110-meter hurdles. With a top 8 finish, he claimed All-American status for the 2nd consecutive season. He's only a sophomore, Kels, out of Dayton, Ohio. Qualified for the national championships by running at 13.83 at last month's Penn Relays. So he has a bright future. Only a sophomore, and he's an All-American for the 2nd consecutive season. Like we said, HBCU athletes at the lower levels can compete. So winning All-American honors, hopefully, by the time he's a junior or senior, can possibly competing to be a professional athlete in track and field. That's all I have for the SEAC right now. In the CIAA, we got quite a bit in the CIAA.
Wait, before you go to the CIAA, I do have some news that's in the SEAC as well.
Okay.
First and foremost, we are getting ready to come up on Media Day. Media Day is coming up. It is, of course, it is next month, but we're almost less than a month away. July 10th. It will be Media Day once again. It will be at the College Football Hall of Fame. Excited about that, nevertheless, because they are going to be. Supposedly, they say it's a different way that we'll check in, but of course, I will be there. Once again, it's a chance to get to meet the coaches and the athletes, and I always call that like the intimate session is what I call it, because you get to meet these people firsthand before the season starts. You get to talk to these athletes and coaches and see what their intentions are, what they're going to do different, where they will rank, see if they end up where they were last year, or if they'll end up higher, or will they end up period. Also, at the end of July is also the top 50, the SWAC, the NBA Players Association camp that's coming back this way to Morehouse. So once again, I will be there as well. So that is coming up to see what's going on in basketball. And our former guest, Tyrus Walker, is out doing things with the New York Knicks. So we want to see this. That was this weekend. I think this weekend here. So we're going to see. We're going to follow up. I've been trying to check. I think I've been early, but we're going to check out to see what's really going on and kind of keeping up with our former guest, as well as Enrique Davis. Got another job.
Hey, he's leaving Morehouse.
Correct. He's leaving Morehouse to go to the University of West Georgia. So we are congratulating him on getting a new position, new running back coach position. And congratulations to him. We hate to lose him, but anytime you advance, the only thing we can do is wish you well.
Exactly. All right, so jumping over to the CIAA, and when you tagged me to this, and I was like, wow, because you know how we are about women in sports, and we just talked about Winston-Salem State getting a new basketball coach last week. Well, this week they're going to be searching for a new AD because Tanya Walker, the director of athletics, announced her resignation effective May 31st. That was my mom's birthday. She served as the director of athletics since April 3rd of 2014, and she's been a part of the WSU athletics program since 2014. So she's been there since 2000. She's been there 18 years. She guided the Rams to 6 NCAA Division II tournament appearances, 15 CIAA championship titles, 9 CIAA divisional titles, 8 CIAA Coach of the Year honors, and in 2015-16 she was named the CIAA Athletic Director of the Year and the National Associate for Collegiate Athletics Administration's 2016 Administrator of the Year. She has had a very successful run at Winston-Salem State University. I don't know if she's retiring, but I can't wait to see where she ends up next. I'm going to be Googling her name to find out where she ends up next, what athletic department she's going to end up running next, because she has improved or led a quality athletics program, a successful athletics program at Winston-Salem State University. What do you think about her resignation and how it could affect Winston-Salem State's athletic department kills?
It's always two things with me. You know, I always look at it, and I do. We kind of brand this, the future is female. And when you see a female that can actually take you to another standard, it's always a great thing. I'm not taking anything from the gender of the male gender, but we know a lot of times the men come in, the men do their thing. Sports, you know, when it comes to athletics, is normally dominated by men. So when you can see someone come in and they can change things and they can make it for the greater, it's always a sad thing when that person resigns, they leave, they go somewhere else. Now, like you said, where will she end up is the question. We know she'll land on her feet, but to see how she's been such a impact on that athletic department, on that program, and to see her leave is a surprise. I think it's a surprise to all of us. I think it's not only a surprise to us, but it's also a surprise to that conference as well.
Exactly. So I guess we'll find out what's going to happen as they continue, to find out who they're going to be their next athletic director. The interim is going to be George Knox, the assistant athletic director for compliance is the interim. So maybe he might get the permanent job. Maybe they may bring someone new in. We'll find out. But I can't wait to see where A.D. Walker turns up, where she can continue her successful career. I just hate to see her go, but I mean, sometimes people have to do what's best for themselves and try take on the next challenge. Up next, SAU's Parker named to the Division II All-American softball team. We don't get a chance to talk about much softball in the SAU, but star hitter Marley Parker out of Langley, British Columbia, St. Augustine University was selected to Division II Collegiate Commissioners Association College Softball All-American team. She is the first D2 CCA All-American from SAU since 2007. And when I tell you she has some impressive stats, but the most impressive stat is the toughest to strike out. When you're playing the game of baseball and softball, you want to be hard to get out. And she fits that role. So congratulations to Marley Parker for earning that award. She surely deserves it for her play on the softball diamond. We have some golf news. Coach Cobble of VUU was invited to the U.S. Open. The 2018 United States Open Championship will be on the 118 U.S. Open schedule for June 14th through the 17th at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club in Shinnecock Hills, Southampton, New York. Cobble joined the USGA in 1993 as a member of the Sectional Affairs Committee, letter named for the Regional Affairs Committee. So, he's going to be a volunteer to work at the U.S. Open. We got some HBCU representation at the U.S. Open kills. That's awesome, to have. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We're not just on the football fields. Go ahead.
We are. We're continuing to, and I made this comment to someone earlier, and I guess we'll get into this in the second half after the guest, because I definitely want to touch on the Devontae Kincaid situation, for a general topic, general conversation about us getting shots. And someone said, that the conversation was, the person was saying how, of course, they're running to these schools because of facilities and they have more money and different things. And although there's truth to the conversation, I had to remind people that we're not just football-driven schools. You still have basketball, baseball, golf, tennis, soccer, track and field, volleyball. You still have all these other sports that aren't sports that you can play professionally. You still have all these other sports that you can actually swimming, things that you can actually still go to the Olympics and compete in, things that you can still do on a professional level outside of football. And I think that's where a lot of times we get caught up. And just like you said, we're everywhere. Golf. Now, who would have thought of that? Golf. We're every single place that people don't think. Even looking at this NBA Finals, you have one of the referees. Derek, call his name. Derek, and I can't call his name right at this moment. He is a 1978 alumnus of Morehouse College. He lives in Fayetteville, Georgia, right down the street from me. So, and he has been in the NBA refereeing for 31 seasons.
Wow.
So we're everywhere. We're everywhere. And they say I dig for stuff. I do. I find things. Because I need people to understand that just because we went to HBCU don't make us lesser. We excel in a lot of things that people don't expect. But on that note, let's go ahead and take a commercial break before she calls in.
All right, we will be right back with more Black College Experience in 31 seconds.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
All right, we're back with more Black College Experience. Right now, we're waiting for our guest to come on. But before she comes on, have some more CIAA news. I want to congratulate Shannon Calawan out of St. Augustine University. You already know what sport, track and field. She was named the NCAA Division II Women's Outdoor Track Athlete of the Year and the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association on Thursday. She is the first Lady Falcon to earn the outdoor track honor since its inception in 2006. That's amazing because SAU has had some tremendous track athletes on the women's side over the past couple of years. The award capped a tremendous season for Calawan, who took home not one, not two, but 3 national titles, Kels. She's a triple threat champion. And she scored the most points in the NCAA Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships last weekend in Charlotte. She raced past opponents in the 400-meter dash, 400-meter hurdles, in addition to anchoring the 4x400-meter relay team to victory. She's awesome. I can't wait to see this young lady professional career. 3 national championships, Kels. That's awesome.
And one at one time. And their coach, again, we talk about their coach. Their coach was he was featured on the undefeated segment. I believe the article written on him, and they were talking about him being the most winningest coach in track and field.
Right. All right, Kels. I think we have our guest on.
Okay. Hello. All right. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Okay. Well, so you already brought her on. So I guess we'll do this introduction. So we do have Cecelia Town. Her IG name is Sporty Esquire. You can probably figure that out. It don't take a genius to figure it out. Sport Esquire. It's sports and attorney. Doesn't take. I like to figure this out. I met her last year at a meet and greet event that was geared towards women in sports. Really fun event. I ended up winning Atlanta Dream tickets, and we stayed connected since last year. I'm anticipating this event coming up in July because they're doing another event of the same character. Of course, we're super excited. But what got me connected to her, of course, she is an alumna of Howard University. I call this Town's Part 1 and 2 because she's on this week. Her brother is on next week. But we won't give his story away. We'll let her go with her story first. Thank you for joining us, Cecelia.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're glad to have you also, Cecelia. Okay. So, you're a graduate of Howard. So talk to us about what made you choose to go to Howard.
Both of my parents actually attended South Carolina State. That's where they met. My dad played tennis for South Carolina State. And so just from a young age, we pretty much always knew what an HBCU was. And we recognized, from our parents and then their friends, the importance of attending an HBCU. Exactly. And so I knew, although when I was young, I didn't know exactly which HBCU I wanted to go to, I knew that I wanted to be at an HBCU. And then when, I got in the 9th grade and you start taking your PSAT, and 11th grade, they invited me for a trip, to come visit Howard's campus. And I just fell in love with it. Like, pretty much immediately when I set foot on campus, I knew that that's where I wanted to be. The culture, the history of excellence, pride in our people. You could just feel it, like walking on campus, and I just knew it was for me.
Yes, indeed. We all have our stories on why we chose our HBCUs, and that there is why this successful former athlete, Tourney, chose her HBCU. She always knew she wanted to be at one now. She always knew, listen to her, she always knew where she wanted to be, So, and that's the same with me. I knew I wanted to always be an HBCU also. So, it's just good to have someone of your caliber on with us. So talk to us about your athletic career.
Yeah, so I guess was always a tomboy, and so my dad always encouraged me, to be involved in sports, and his sport, our family sport of sorts, was tennis. But I also played soccer for years, and I ran track in high school and did very well in that. But tennis was my sport since I was about 6 years old. And so I actually did very well academically. And so when I went to Howard, I got an academic scholarship. But I knew that I didn't want to give up sports. And so I tried out for the tennis team, made the tennis team, and it was really a great experience. I ended up being an academic All-American all 4 years at Howard. I was team captain for my last 2 years there. And it just really, it helped define, who I am today. I have no doubt that I wouldn't be where I am today had I not played tennis at Howard.
Yes, indeed. Now, did you win any championships during your playing career?
No, we did not. We did not, unfortunately. South Carolina State, I think, won maybe once or twice when I was there, and then Hampton the other time. So they were kind of trading me at championships when I was in school.
Yes, indeed. Now, you're a tennis player. Have you ever met the two Williams sisters?
Yeah, when we were really young. So, I went to high school in South Carolina, but my dad lived in and is from D.C. And so when we went to spend summers with him, we were playing at a facility in D.C., the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. And the Williams sisters, were heavy supporters of the Learning Center, of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. And so, they would come by, and I can't exactly remember which event it was that they came to, but we had the opportunity to meet them. And they've, always very, very gracious and supportive of, black kids getting involved in tennis, staying involved in tennis.
Did you want to challenge them to a game?
No, I think I was just starstruck, really.
Yeah, I always like to think, when you meet someone, because it's your sport. I mean, when you're playing your sport, you always want to possibly compete against the best, and who better to compete against than the Williams sisters? I mean, they have been the cream of the crop, leading the way for young black women, blazing a trail in the sport of tennis. And, that's how you was able to, go to college on academic scholarship and also being successful in tennis. Perhaps someone could see your story and want to be like you and like the Williams sisters, and you could inspire them to want to play tennis and also be a lawyer. Kels?
I mean, the thing is, it really is about kids don't really know what they can aspire to be until they see that, right? So when they see black women being attorneys, when they see black men being doctors, it does allow them to see that in themselves. And so it is very, very important that we let our kids see us doing, positive things, whether it be in sports or, in non-athletic professions. They do need to see that because they can begin to identify, their own aspirations by looking at us.
Exactly. Kels?
Okay, so you kind of jumped right where I think we all kind of had the same question. My next question was gonna be, being that you are an African American woman, you play tennis. It seems like that's the sport of your family. How important is it for us? Because we don't see enough African Americans in the sport of tennis. Of course, we got the football, we got the basketball, we got the baseball, but we don't see enough African Americans in the sport of tennis. So what do you tell people about that? And of course, I'm going to ask your brother this same question next week. What do you tell people that actually watch tennis that might aspire to be in the game of tennis or want to learn the game of tennis and maybe take it to the next level?
What do I tell adults or like kids who are interested?
No, kids. Oh,
yeah. Well, one of the things, I guess, sort of related to that, and then I'll answer your question, is that whenever I meet parents with kids, especially girls who are like trying to figure out what sport their kids are going to play, I always suggest tennis. I suggest golf. I suggest soccer. I suggest a non-traditional sport to our families and our kids because I do think that we need to be represented, better represented in sports. And so for the kids that are already doing it or they're interested in doing it, I just encourage them to keep doing it. And I let them know that, especially when you're talking about getting scholarship money, that honestly, the odds of them getting a tennis scholarship are probably a lot greater than them getting like a football scholarship to a Division I school.
Correct.
And so one of the things that I always stress is, it could open up a lot more doors for you than playing a more traditional sport. There's essentially less competition for you. And so in addition to it just being a really good sport for you as an individual, it's just a smart move, right? Like, it increase your odds getting the money that you need to go get your education.
Exactly.
So yeah, I encourage them to get in programs. Financing is often an issue, for African Americans in tennis because it is such an expensive sport. There's no two ways around it, So I encourage them to research different programs that are out there, especially kids who are in major cities. There are a lot of programs that are willing to teach black kids how to play and finance them going and playing in tournaments for little to no money. They just need to show the interest and, get their butts to practice one time.
Amen. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Get your butts to practice on time.
I did. I got a chance to actually go out last year, and they had the HBCU tennis. I think it's tennis championships here in Atlanta or here in Georgia. And I got a chance to go out, and I got a chance to watch it and witness it. And it was on a Saturday, and I do remember sitting there talking to I talked to Florida A&M's coach for the longest, and we were having this conversation about how people really don't go out, for these scholarships. They don't play tennis, and she was saying the same thing. That's probably where your greater odds are going to come to get a scholarship is in tennis, and a lot of people just don't know that. A lot of people don't go after that because they don't know that. We're so stuck in the same traditional sports that we don't even pay the sports that actually pay for us to go through school. It's something that can actually take us to the level. So with that being said, let's go over into your present day. Tell us about Gladiators and what you're doing with that.
Yeah, so, after I became an attorney, initially I wasn't involved in sports, but I knew that I still needed that outlet. And so one of the things that was birthed from my desire to be involved in sports was gladiators.com. I started a blog because I didn't like the way that women were portrayed in sports. I just thought that the coverage was very limited, and this was back 2013, the coverage was very limited, and coverage that was there, it just seemed like it was the same old cookie cutter stuff. So I started the blog. And from the blog, I, began writing for ESPNW, and I just, my career started to blossom, and I realized that I had a lot of information that, I wish I had when I was first coming out of school. I wish I had when I was first starting my practice, my legal practice. And so I felt like, all right, well, it's time to get gladiators to branch out and to move beyond just talking about women in sports, but to empower women in sports and empower women in general. And so that's really the goal of Gladiators, is to help women, especially women in the sports arena, realize their potential and help them fulfill whatever desires they have, professionally, mostly professionally, but also, that kind of ties into your personal life as well. So, the blog still runs. We still post on the blog, but we also host events like the Mixer, and we do, we have workshops that are really, a lot of them are geared at student athletes, current student athletes, and female student athletes, trying to help them transition to life out of sports. And we're trying to expand that to work with professional women who are transitioning to their life after sports, and then just women in general. So we have a few things that are, in line with all of those goals.
Right, and you spell gladiators, not like gladiator from the movie. You spell it GLADIATHERS, gladiators.
Yes, right. That's
I
right.
like that.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I came up with that name. Just kind of I had a little brainstorming session with myself, and I wanted, I kind of wanted to figure out what I wanted the blog to say, and I wanted it to be about strong women, and women's strength comes in a lot of different forms. But I think for a lot of people, historically, a gladiator is something that represents strength, but that's always been, a male, that's like something that men are associated with. So I just kind of wanted to flip it, and for the name to I guess be the epitome of strong women.
Well, it fits. I mean, it's an amazing play on that word, and Kels knows I'm an avid, super supporter of women in sports. I've been like that all my life. I watched the WNBA. We were having a conversation back and forth the other day about I watch the women's sports football, full tackle football when I can on TV when it comes on. So I watch women's basketball. I'm glad that you were able to come on, because to have someone out there like you that's trying to promote and improve the image of women in sports, not just the athletes, but also the women who work and cover sports, because we also know that in our society, in the male-dominated field of sports, women aren't necessarily given a fair shake, or when they're given a fair shake, my gender doesn't behave properly. Women just want to work. To echo the lady I saw on CNN a few weeks ago, that say women just want to work. They just want to play. And to have someone like you out there, I guess you could say propagating and supporting for women to succeed athletically, be it on the playing field or covering these sports. I think that's awesome. I think that's amazing. And I'm going to continue to follow your work. And, Kels knows how much I like and support women's sports, because I'm on another radio show where before I got on, they didn't do much talk about women's sports. Well, now they do, because I feel like, our women need to be given a fair shake. Who's to say that with all the problems with the NFL, that the best professional football league won't be women full contact football? Put some bugs in your ear. You know what I'm saying? It could happen. You know.
Right. Well, we definitely appreciate your support, but one of the things that you mentioned was, the sort of the long haul that a lot of women in sports have to deal with, and that's
Right.
one of the goals with the mixer, the Gladiators mixer, is we want to connect women who are in industry so that we can support one another. And last year it was generally it was just a mixer, so people could meet each other, talk to each other, make good connections. And this year, the Me Too movement is part of the reason that we wanted to expand things. So this year we're having a panel discussion. It's not just going to be, people just kind of hanging out, drinking and talking or whatever. There will be an expert panelist, a group of experts on our panel, and they're going to be teaching women and sharing their experiences of how they have overcome racism, how they've overcome sexism. What are the things that they've used to excel in this male-dominated industry, despite the people that are not as supportive as you are.
Exactly.
I feel like you're way ahead of my conversation because everything that you're saying was going to be my next question. Everything that you're saying is going to be my next question. Like, that was going to be my next question. Like, how do we, because you spoke so highly, you spoke on it directly and I can honestly vouch for him saying this. He does. He really gets into women's sports. He probably gets into women's sports more than I get into women's sports. He really does advocate for women's sports. He really does.
And I've been like that since I was in the sixth grade.
In this field, we face so much sexism. We're not supposed to know anything because we're women. We're not supposed to be here because we're women. We know nothing. We're not supposed to know nothing. We're not supposed to know anything about sports. Like, I don't care what sport it is. Men know more about it than we do let them tell it. And I think that's a great thing. So my next question is going to be, what are you going to be doing next? You told us what you're doing next. So
and in conjunction with the mixer, I've started like this series. It's called Working Women Wednesday, and it's basically right now it's me giving advice, career advice for people. But eventually, we're going to bring on other experts in the field to do just that. So in line with the panel, we just want to connect women who can help younger, upcoming women face the challenges that they're facing. A lot of the women that I've talked to in the sports industry talk about just how lonely it is, right? Like, they don't feel like they have a community that they can call on when times get tough. And, honestly, sometimes, although people don't like to admit this, but sometimes women are perpetrators of the sexism that holds us back, right? So not all women are supporting all women, and so I want to counteract that. I want to get the women together who want to support one another together and make it easy for women to connect the dots, make it easy for women to, put one another on. So, that's what's next, I guess.
And I see
that's what we're trying to do to make a difference.
And I'm reading your bio here. You're also a writer, contributing writer for ESPNW. The thing is, I probably have read some of your articles because I do read ESPNW quite a lot. I listen to Sarah Spain on Saturdays when she's on ESPN Radio. Me and her actually kind of had a back and forth talk, as far as, a topic she was talking about. And when I told her that, hey, I love women's sports, because she was disagreeing, I was like, I'm not trying to disagree with you because I'm a fan, but it's just good to, talk with someone like you who's basically in the arena that I support wholeheartedly. My daughter is going to be an athlete. She's going to be a runner. So I have no choice but to support women's sports because I'm raising one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of me writing for ESPNW is one of the reasons that I, encourage women to go out on their own. So women in sports is difficult. They don't always want to hire us. And so for a really long time, before I started really consistently writing for Gladiators, I was pitching to these other outlets, right? Because I knew that I was a good writer. I knew that I knew the law, and so that could be my spin, to do sports law. But it was also very difficult to get, these editors to bite. And so I just said, that's it. I'm going to start writing for my own blog consistently. And through consistently writing for my blog, that's how I became a contributing writer to ESPNW. And so that's why I always, just encourage women to, if they're not giving you a chance, make your own chance.
Exactly.
We are in an area where we have so much more access than any other generation. It really is so much easier to start your own thing. And so we don't have an excuse. If people keep telling you no and it's something you believe in, just go do it yourself and let everybody else catch on.
Keisha, who that sound like?
How do you think Black College Experience started? Black College Experience started. It is. It's one of the most. I've listened to the story so many times. You can't do it. You shouldn't do it. It won't work. You didn't major in it. You didn't do it in undergrad. But the passion didn't die. The spirit didn't die. It's still something I always believed in. I always believed in our HBCU athletes, no matter what the sport was, no matter how many times people told me no. How many avenues we had to help, how many nights we've been up going through thing after thing after thing. And so now, 2 years later, you look at it and you say, we made it 2 years.
Right.
And you're an official, actual business, and you're like, okay, well, had we stopped it 2 years ago when I tell people all the time, where there are no opportunities, you create them. You open your own doors, because in this business, they're not giving a lot of people opportunities. And sometimes we know it's not our skills, it's not our knowledge, but it's who we know. And the more people you network with, the more people you connect with, just that one door eventually will open.
Well, that's the thing, Kels. The thing is, quoting Uncle Elroy from next Friday, you hear her knocking, well, let her in. No one let you in. You kick the door down. So,
you have to kick the door down sometimes. Yep.
So, but Cecelia, talk to us about what are your future plans as far as with your blog and writing for ESPNW. What do you see yourself taking this? As far as, do you see yourself potentially, sponsoring young ladies as they try to start their athletic careers, or, trying to help the next great writer?
Yeah, for sure. Our goal is to start a mentorship program where we are, connecting professional women or athletes with, people who are interested in being mentored. We want to expand the Mixer series so that we start taking it to other cities. We definitely want to get in more schools and start talking to more professional women. So kind of just expanding on what we're doing now, taking it to a more national and then eventually global level. That is the ultimate goal, really, to just help as many women as we can possibly help.
Kels?
Oh, I'm like, happened there? I don't have anything. I don't. Oh, I do. While we have you here, tell us also, because I'm sure it's a lot of people that want to be able to follow you. Some people might even still have questions. Where can we follow you on social media, websites? Like, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, will have any questions.
Yeah, so on all my social media, I'm Sporty Esquire, so SportyEsquire, and then my website is CeceliaTowns.com, EceliaTownes.com. And then to keep up with Gladiators and everything we're doing, all of our social media handles are just at Gladiators, and the website is gladiators.com. So yeah, if anyone has any questions about what we're doing, if anyone wants to get involved with what we're doing, definitely reach out on social media, shoot me an email. You can get all of that, access to all of that via social media or on our website.
Yes, indeed. Well, Cecelia, you know, we want to thank you for coming on with us tonight. One thing I like to say
thanks
is,
so much for having me.
once you're on as a guest, you're no longer a guest. You are now family.
Okay.
So whenever you have a need to talk about sports on Sunday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, feel free to hit us up. You are always welcome. Your voice is always welcome. If you have a topic you want to discuss, if you want to, you know, just put some bugs in our ear when it comes to your cause or your alma mater, whenever, because, you know, Hampton, you all are joining the Big South. You know, whenever you have your rivalry game, if you want to.
Yeah, she's Howard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, whenever that game comes up.
They did that.
Well, I'm sorry.
Get it right.
You know, whenever that game comes up, you may want to talk about or talk noise about Hampton leaving the MEAC, going to the Big South.
Right.
So.
I honestly, I appreciate you guys, all the work that you're doing to just give people like me and like my brother a voice and a platform. I appreciate all the support that you give to HBCU athletes, because Lord knows the babies need it. So y'all keep doing what you're doing. If there's anything that I can ever do for BCE, just, you know, Keisha has my number, so let me know.
And thank you so much once again for joining us, y'all. This is Towns number 1. You will get Towns number 2 on next week. Thank you, Cecelia.
All right, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Good
All right.
night.
Well, Kels, she may be my favorite guest now, because you know me. I love an advocate for women in sports. And like her blog says,
she goes hard. Yep,
a
she
gladiator.
goes hard.
You know, first thing I thought about her blog title was the movie Gladiator. How Maximus was fighting to you know, for his family. You know, and that's what she's doing. She's fighting to secure better opportunities for women in sports. And I just think that's amazing, Kels. So
she's the person.
So we're coming to the end of the show. Got about 7 minutes left. You know.
So let's hit this Devontae Kincaid. You start off with his opportunity, and I'll go into my personal thoughts about this whole giving someone a shot.
Well, first and foremost, me and you had this discussion. I have been a fan of Devontae Kincaid before he got to Grambling. I was a fan of Devontae Kincaid before he got to Ole Miss. I first saw Devontae Kincaid at the Elite 11 camp on TV, and he showed out. I was like, wow, that young man is going to be an awesome quarterback. Then he signs with my SEC rival school. I was like, oh no, he's going to kill me for 4 years. You know, why couldn't he come to Mississippi State? He didn't really get a chance to play much at Ole Miss to showcase his talent. Then he comes to Grambling. Like, oh no, my school already doesn't win, but this kid is going to Grambling. Grambling already wins. And boy, we did a poll when he first came to the SWAC, and we said who's gonna be the best quarterback and light up the SWAC. And the number one vote getter was Devontae Kincaid, and boy, did he light up the SWAC for 2 SWAC championships and a Black College National Championship. In his senior year, he went undrafted, went unsigned for the NFL, got his position changed to being a wide receiver. Devontae Kincaid is a quarterback, not a wide receiver. I figured he would go to the Canadian League, where it would suit his game, a mobile quarterback with a big arm. He did get signed, however, not to the Canadian League, but to the National Arena League for the Maine Mammoths. So he's going to be heading up north to play football for the Maine Mammoths. I'm glad for Devontae. I have been in touch with him, and he will be on the show soon to talk about this opportunity. He told me he would like to come on and just talk about his journey, from high school to Ole Miss to Grambling to now becoming the hopeful potential future quarterback of the Maine Mammoths, starting quarterback for the Maine Mammoths. I'm thrilled for him. I have faith that he will get a chance to prove himself in the NFL or the CFL, wherever it gives him a chance to prove himself on the football field. If it had to take him going to the National League, to the Arena League, to the Canadian Football League, to make his way to the NFL, I have faith that he will eventually prove people wrong. I'm thrilled for Devontae. I'm not only a fan of his, he's also now my friend. So I myself am personally and professionally happy for him. Go ahead, Kels.
Okay, so yeah, before we end this out, so I do, the conversation tends to get into, we talk about size, we talk about opportunity,
right.
And like I always tell people, it's a two-way with how my career started. I actually started out in basketball. I started out being a National Basketball Developmental League, and for people that didn't know, I'm from Huntsville, so the Huntsville Flight was a National Basketball Developmental League that was there, and of course that's the step under the NBA. I did. I worked as it was game day crowd. It was like game day crowd, something like that. I can't remember so long ago, but that's where I started at. And I did. I got a chance to meet athletes, and then of course I started working for doing summer camps with these NFL athletes and in their nonprofits. I started my football love and career in the Arena League, and at that time, it wasn't Arena. It wasn't AFL. I was in AFL 2. So AFL 2 moved to AFL 1. So, and that was in about 2007, 2008. So that lets you know how old this is. So that's where I actually started. So I said all that to say this. A lot of times, people don't realize that if you never watched, and I know you have, but some people don't even watch those games. It's what we call the highest, most energetic 60 minutes that you will ever witness, and the field is so short, but it's so much energy and it's so much fun watching those games. And I've watched them for so many years. I've watched the AFL, and then you get to the CFL. And for people that don't know, people that try to take these jabs and say, "Oh, you're going to the CFL," it is hard as hell. Excuse my language, to get into that league too. It's hard. So they say it like it's just nothing. It's hard to get in that league because it's right under the NFL. It's hard to get in that league. So anytime you get a shot at any of those leagues, I commend any of those guys, wherever they go. I don't care where you go play. Mm-hmm. Anytime you go, you get a chance. It's always a commendable thing. I mean, and we know this NFL draft was quarterback heavy for some reason this year. It's never been that heavy, but it's been quarterback heavy. So, again, I'm excited to have him on for him to talk about it. And we're always excited no matter what it is, whatever the sport is, no matter where you go. Whenever you get a chance, be it playing overseas, playing AFL, CFL, whatever it is, we're always excited because we have to learn that the NFL is not our only route to continue to pursue a dream, to continue to pursue something that we love. It's not the only route.
Right. Well, it is harder to get into the CFL, to piggyback off you.
Absolutely.
Because guess how many American players you can have per team in the CFL? Only 20 per team. And the CFL has a total of 46 players on the roster, and only 20 roster spots per team can, be international, mostly Americans. You may have some other nationalities in that international number, but the majority of them are Americans. You said something about size. Me and you had this back and forth. We also had this back and forth with my good friend, guy I grew up with, Sean Davis. Said Devontae was too small to be in the NFL. There have been small quarterbacks who have succeeded in the NFL, namely Russell Wilson, Doug Flutie, Drew Brees is the smallest quarterback. So height and weight, you can, if you can throw the ball, if you can see over the line, you can play quarterback in the NFL. Every quarterback in the NFL is not 6'6", 250 pounds. Everyone's not built like Cam Newton. So, that knock on Devontae's size, I don't agree with. I don't agree with it. He's going to shock some people once he gets his shot. I have faith in him. This not only affects Devontae, but it also affects other HBCU players, wide receivers, quarterbacks. From your alma mater, Willie Quinn, smallest wide receiver, very dynamic, but said he was too small to make it in the NFL. And I think he's still in the CFL right now, right? I think he is. We're also going to do next week, we're going to do a special on the HBCU players in the CFL, like we did last year, because CFL is getting ready to start there in preseason right now. So we're going to have some football being played, Kel, soon, some football being played, and HBCU players on the field dominating as we want them to and expect them to. But when it comes to size and speed, when you get to the NFL, everyone has to get into the training program that the NFL has. If you put an athlete like Devontae Kincaid into an NFL training program, he will gain weight. A comparison that was made, Russell Wilson is built like a brick. Not always. He wasn't always built like that. Yes, Devontae is skinny. But you put him in that training program, he will gain weight. And and his body will mature, and he has the talent to play in the NFL. He may not have the body right now, but he has the talent. And if you have the talent, you can always change and improve and grow your body. And that's what he's going to do in Maine.
Okay. It's more things I do. I gotta. Before we get out of here, we want to congratulate Commissioner Jackie McWilliams that was inducted into the 2018 Hampton University Athletics Hall of Fame. She was 1998 NCAA basketball champion and CIAA volleyball champion. So she was a two-sport person, all right? Commissioner McWilliams. Okay. Right. So congratulations to her on that. Also, going over to still on women, Jaleesa Hunter, she was named the head athletic trainer over at Alcorn. So congratulations to her. Awesome. And if anybody is wanting to play football for Southern University, they can have the opportunity to prove themselves. They are having a mandatory walk-on meeting on tomorrow, Monday, June 4th at 6 a.m. That's real early. They say prompt notoriety, and you must be enrolled in summer school, so if you're walking over there. Now, Derek, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Alabama State, correct me, did they sign with Adidas? Did they go with Adidas?
I don't have that information in front of me right now, unfortunately.
I think I saw that, but we'll catch that up next week. And then before we get out of here, just to let everybody know what we were talking about earlier, very excited. Black College Experience is now officially Black College Experience Incorporated. So we're officially incorporated domestic nonprofit. So we're on the road. This has been a process, but this is the beginning. This is a happy time. And with that being said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to say the answer to your question, yes, they did sign a partnership with Adidas.
I just so happen, for some reason, I don't see their stuff as much, but I just so happen to catch it on Twitter. Twitter has all of this. I can call somebody posting it or something, and I follow a lot of groups, and I get in a bunch of groups so I can kind of keep up with their stuff. But congratulations to them, because like you said, I was laughing because when I saw it pop up, I laughed and thought about what you said. Well, we're coming close to the end of the summer. Like, when are these people going to sign? So Alabama State has sealed the deal with their partnership of partnering with Adidas. Next week, make sure you check us out. Again, this was part one was Cecelia Towns. Next week we will have part 2 of the Towns family. It is going to be her brother, Matthew Towns. He has Game Set Matches, what he is on Instagram. He was the men's coach of the year over at Morgan State. He is a tennis coach. And he also just won a tennis championship. So next week we will have Matthew Towns on part 2 of the Towns family.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else, Kel, so make sure you check us out next week on Black College Experience. We are out of here.